What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Being a Reaction. Today we're looking at Minato Beat Hashirama by Swagkage. Let's go ahead and get it started.
Money making season and being broke is treason.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Swagkage here, and today Seth's here, and
hello.
In addition to him, we've got a newcomer. Everybody welcome my boy Six.
Hi, I'm Six.
Six knows a lot about Naruto.
Yeah, bro, he's really cool. You should check out his channel, which will be linked in the description, so no excuses. Anyway,
we saw a couple of his videos.
We're going to be talking about Minato versus Hashirama. Now, let's before we say anything, all of us are in agreement. Hashirama probably wins the fight.
Yeah.
But
I don't even know why this is like a thing, man, because Hashirama blitzes. Hashirama destroys Minato, bro. Minato doesn't have enough. His biggest attack is Rasengan. Like physical, like his biggest attack is Rasengan. He could probably do Otama Rasengan. I don't even know if he could do that. He could probably do like a big Rasengan, maybe. But that's it. That's all he has is regular Rasengan and maybe a big Rasengan. That's not penetrating Hashirama's defenses at all.
I like Minato like a lot. And Seth is always down to play devil's advocate. So throughout this video, we're gonna be providing arguments for how maybe Minato could win the fight.
Here's a good hypothetical way to put it, right? It's like, you remember that scene where Orochimaru was trying to summon all the hokage, and then Hiruzen sees the fourth hokage. He's like, "Oh hell no!"
Yeah.
Tries to put it away.
I can't let the third one rise up no matter what.
Oh no, the other two are fine, but not that one. So maybe we're gonna try to create a case for why could Hiruzen maybe be scared. It's not going to be objectively right. Maybe you guys down below could point out some flaws in the arguments. It's just going to be, we're going to try to make up whatever we can to see if we can get Minato to win. So,
okay.
So first of all, let's get all the Minato.
So they're all trying to make Minato win. Okay, that makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense.
Can see if we can get Minato to win. So
first of all, let's get all the Minato downplay out of the way. One of the most obnoxious things is people like to point out the data book statement where A has, like, in his lightning cloak, they're like speed on par with the yellow flash. Now this is just obviously not true. He's not as fast as Minato. I mean, Minato was referred to as the yellow flash throughout the Third War, so it was probably in reference to Jonin Minato, and it would make sense too.
So you could just say the yellow flash is like what people knew during the war.
Yeah, exactly.
That's Hokage. He got a bit stronger or something, and people didn't know about that. Also, it's kind of a weird statement as well, because the fourth Raikage says, "Now that he's dead, I'm the fastest."
Yeah, exactly.
It was contentious even to him to think that. Like, he probably implies that.
And that was like 16 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their encounter was like 21 years ago, right?
Yeah, exactly.
4 years later, or 5, Minato dies. Minato, who's this guy with unparalleled talent, his shinobi is or his capacity as a shinobi is just unmatched. So it's not out the realm of possibility that in those 4 years, he just got so much faster the Raikage could never catch up to it.
It's not like Minato was like getting rusty, like say like part 1 Kakashi in the Land of Wedge or something. That dude was literally solo stomping wars. Like, he was not getting rusty. He was definitely improving and constantly like motivated. So, and I believe that physical activity and fighting a lot actually does increase your power in Naruto. So
B actually makes a statement to imply that when he's training KCM Naruto, he says that fighting always teaches more than training, and it's like a shortcut to powering up. So yeah, Minato definitely could have just got so much faster. The Raikage is just can't fuck with him.
Yeah, right. And the other one, now this isn't necessarily Minato downplay so much as it is like it's kind of relevant to this fight. Don, Tsunade's dead boyfriend, says that the only person who could ever stop Madara is Hashirama. And I've seen this brought up a little bit, not like a ton, like the Raikage statement, but this is just like not. This isn't relevant at all because Don died during the Second War before Minato was famous, and he's also just a random.
Okay.
Like he has like no authority on.
So
the topic
he
at
didn't
all.
even see
I was
Minato.
like giving Six an analogy a while back. I think it was either yesterday or the day before when we were talking about this, and it would be like if I said the only person who could stop Jonah Hill was Adam Sandler. It would be totally meaningless. It's kind of the same thing with what Don's
These
saying
are
here, right?
crazy
Like, first of all,
pictures.
totally.
These are crazy pictures right here. Jonah Hill as Superman, and then isn't that Nicolas Cage? Or is that they said Adam Sandler? That look like Nicolas Cage. These are crazy
It's
pictures.
kind of the same thing with what Don's saying here, right? Like, first of all, he doesn't really know who Minato is, and the other thing is that he was literally dating Hashirama's granddaughter, so there may be a little bit of bias there. It's hard to call the statement concrete or definitive or say that it really is like indicative of anything as far as this fight is concerned, though.
There's also the Kabuto statement. So, I mean, the Kabuto statement, if I recall correctly, just says vaguely no one alive should be able to take down Hashirama.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it doesn't say like in all of history or anything.
Right.
It's also a pretty specific caveat, too. Like, no one currently alive.
Yeah,
So.
and I can debunk one thing real quick.
Yeah.
So, there's the third Hokage is the strongest Hokage thing.
Oh, yeah, we talked about this a lot. Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. Here's the thing. We don't even need to debunk it or anything. You can literally just say, even if the third Hokage was the strongest Hokage, it doesn't mean that Hashirama beats Minato.
Yeah, like those are unrelated. Oh wait, actually, the biggest downplay ever is the Tobirama is faster than Minato stuff because of like what
Really?
happens
Why?
during the Jubito fight.
A lot of people
the
think that.
Tobirama being faster than Minato thing is just like blatantly false because Tobirama comments on Minato's speed, calling his Shunshin better than his own. I mean, like Minato gets to the battlefield before any of the Hokage do, and we can assume that they were all traveling at full speed. I feel like that is a safe assumption to make. The only way that you can argue that Tobirama was faster than Minato is by taking this like out of context scene. The reason why it's not really fair to use it is because Minato was clearly like mega nerfed by how surprised he was to see Obito was the person who attacked the Leaf Village. Like this really messed him up.
Yeah, the data book goes over this. It says that like seeing Obito change in appearance and finding out that he was the one who attacked the village put Minato in a sort of like stupor or dazed phase.
Yeah.
You know that in
Okay.
Naruto you can get mental nerfs and amps. So if Minato is faster than Tobirama in base, and then Tobirama starts to be faster than KCM Minato, well then you could just say the nerf is like a KCM level nerf.
Yeah, it's like massive.
Also, to bring up some like
Makes sense.
here, I think that are interesting. I was just thinking about it. Is that I think for one, like, okay, so you have Hashirama, he's like fighting off like Madara and the Nine Tails, like the Majestic Tire Susanoo. He's like running away from it, and then he's able to kind of like stalemate Madara almost at the very end. He like wins, but it's like almost a stalemate, right?
Yeah.
But something that's interesting is that you have Minato, who's now nerfed, right? He's nerfed in an Edo state. Not only does he get to the battlefield before Hashirama, but he's actually able to like get in between a Ten Tails Bijou bomb and is able to teleport it like across the ocean.
Again,
Like,
nerfed.
before any of the Hokage arrive. So
Dang.
which it's like could he literally teleport anything that Madara could have thrown at him as well? It's probably very
Probably.
likely, which is really interesting, I think.
Yeah.
So the number one thing that is easiest to argue goes to Minato is speed, because his whole thing is that he's fast and he has a lot of really crazy speed feats. The craziest one is when he gets in between Ten Tails Madara and 8th Gate Guy and just like warps back out. Like he has like 6 paths level reaction speed.
In the anime, this is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the anime, Guy and the True Seeker orbs are like moving in slow motion in comparison to Minato. Like, outspeeding both of them completely.
So, if we use the anime, you don't even really need to take Devil's Advocate anymore for Minato to win, because like there's the whole statement of the Flying Raijin surpassing the concepts of like space, time, and like distance or
What,
whatever.
really?
Yeah.
And it's basically like an outer versal like teleportation, right? So when this happens, Minato's teleporting like completely ignoring space and time, like the concepts of space and time. Yet in the anime, he's shown taking off Naruto's blanket while completely negating time itself, and then flying into a cabin and surviving like an explosion. Like, so using the anime, he's kind of a bad dude, but in the manga, maybe it has to be a little bit different, you know?
Yeah.
So what does Hashirama do against Minato's like outer versal irrelevant speed kunai, like summon a tree?
Now obviously if you stick to manga only, it's not quite that clear cut in Minato's favor, but the Jubidara Might Guy feat is still pretty impressive, and it should put his reaction speed on a level where he's perfectly capable of reacting to and teleporting away from anything that Hashirama throws at him. The tough thing is, what does Minato do after that? Like, how does he actually damage Hashirama? The guy has, you know, he fought Madara and was like deflecting Biju bombs and stuff, and he also has regeneration, so he should be pretty durable. But Six and I were talking about this. I actually don't remember if we got Seth's opinion on this before the video, but if I'm recalling correctly, now anybody in the comments, feel free to correct us, but I'm pretty sure Hashirama doesn't have any like crazy durability feats like with his own body, right?
He doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, he never really tanks anything with his own body. And then in the data book, or data book 4 in specific, it says that the reason Hashirama is known as the strongest is because of his wood style, and that's what he uses to like deflect Biju bombs and whatnot. So you can make the case that his body is just not that powerful, and it's all in the jutsu.
So
I mean, I guess, even though the whole concept of Hashirama cells and regeneration, but if we never seen him actually tank anything with his actual body, then you were just making assumptions, which I guess you can debate because we never seen it. But you can also debate that he could take it because of Hashirama cells is literally cells from his body for regeneration, so he should be able to. But if we never seen it, then yeah, I guess it's a good debate, man.
Body is just not that powerful, and it's all in the jutsu.
So yeah, I would say personally that it would be a little bit weird. I think I brought this up, but I think it's a little bit weird if like his body was made out of paper mache.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like Madara would just be like, okay, if I hit him, I can like turn him into ash or something. Like, so I do think he has some scope of durability.
Sure, right, but like
I can agree that it might be hard to quantify, right?
Yeah, like it's kind of hard to say that like he's on like the same level. I mean, like you could argue this if you wanted to, but it's hard to say it's definitive that he's on the level of the attacks that he's deflecting with his like giant wood hands or whatever, right?
He's using those wood hands for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can see how a lot of people would say maybe Hashirama scales to Madara in durability or something like that, but there's actually a bit to imply, or something to imply, that Madara was actually just beating up Hashirama in their fight and he kept healing. We get a flashback from the Nine Tails where Hashirama's talking to him middle of the fight with Madara, and we see that Hashirama is like severely battle damaged, like he's beat to the point where his eyes closed, maybe it's even cut out, I don't know, because Hashirama can heal organs. His forehead's bleeding, his mouth is bleeding, but then we see at the end of the Madara fight, the damage he has doesn't resemble that. So there's something to say like Madara was like actually beating him up, and Hashirama was just healing from all the attacks.
It could be kind of similar to like, imagine Naruto versus Sasuke, right? Like when you actually see those Naruto versus Sasuke fights, like if Naruto didn't regen, he would die so many times. Like,
so that's a healing feat, which I guess ties into durability, but also not quite the same.
Actually see those Naruto versus Sasuke fights, like if Naruto didn't regen, he would die so many times. Like there was that one scene where Sasuke like ripped out his lung. There was that in the anime, like when they were fighting in Six Paths, like he like impaled him through the spine with like an Amaterasu spear that would have killed any normal person. Like there's like a lot of instances where like Sasuke blatantly like rips through Naruto, but his regen like kind of saves him a bit. Not to say that Sasuke is stronger than Naruto in Six Paths, but just as an example, like Madara could literally just be doing that to Hashirama and we wouldn't really know, right? So
Madara also is like heavily respects that healing. Like he thinks it makes Hashirama the ultimate shinobi, so he probably had like a pretty tough time with it.
I think this actually segues into another Minato downplay, and there's like this like weird like meta or whatever where people think that Minato has like no stamina. I don't know if you guys have heard that.
Because of the Obito fight.
Not even the Obito fight, but also because of the war as well, which I think is like kind of disingenuous, right? Because I think Minato's like most stamina draining attacks are obviously like the flying Raijin barrier and like teleporting like massive things. Like he makes that very clear. But people act like he can only like use flying Raijin normally like 6 times, but it's so disingenuous. They also think that because he teleported like the Shinobi Alliance, that it's like he has no stamina as well. But it's like he's teleporting like an entire like what, tens of thousands of people.
It's like the whole world's military.
So obviously like ripping a hole in like space-time that probably ignores the concepts of space and time and stuff probably takes a bit of chakra, you know. Like it's not like Minato was just like dashing around Obito trying to slash him over and over and that's why he got tired, right? There's like a lot of things leading up to it. He was also using like extremely advanced like sealing jutsu as well. But I don't think versus Hashirama he would really use that barrier unless he's trying to like teleport away the entire Buddha statue.
Well, that would be really funny. I also brought this up. Like, imagine like the Buddha statue like goes to like punch Minato, and then it's just gone.
I mean, he could do that.
I can definitely see like people saying, "Okay, I don't think Minato has the stamina for that," right? Like, because if the
I agree.
That statue, which dwarfs the Nine Tails, is probably a little bit out of it.
I agree.
I think it's disingenuous to say as well, like if you give Minato speed, is that the golem or the Buddha statue would ever be even remotely effective, because like you would say, okay, well Hashirama's trying to like attack him at range, but wouldn't it be in character for Minato to place a seal on Hashirama to be able to teleport to him at any time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He does it like every time he fights someone.
So like imagine like they're like standing like even like a mile apart and this huge statue's coming like come punch him. You just teleport onto Hashirama, like it would be kind of ineffective. Like,
there's also something with the flying Raijin barrier that y'all were talking about where Minato actually redirects those attacks where he wants them to go. Like he says that when he's redirecting the Nine-Tails Biju Bomb. So it's possible that like Hashirama like tries to hit him with 1,000 hands and he just puts it back on him and he just hits himself,
punching himself in the back or something.
And since we've already established that it's possible that Hashirama's durability may not scale to that of his wood constructs, it's possible that like the 1,000 hands or like the wood golem punching him could like really fuck him up, right? So, again, it's debatable, but you know. Let's hear
Swag's ultimate win.
My favorite win condition is that Minato marks Hashirama, and then like blitzes him, and then grabs him and throws him up, and then teleports back to him and keeps throwing him like over and over, like chain grabbing him until he throws him into space, like, and then Hashirama dies.
What the heck? Just keep throwing him further up into the air so you out of field him? He's trying to get an out of field play? That's not even how Minato fights. He don't even fight like that.
Throws him up and then teleports back to him and keeps throwing him like over and over, like chain grabbing him until he throws him into space,
like,
and then Hashirama dies.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like right when he's about to get to the stratosphere, instead of throwing him, he throws a kunai into outer space and like switches him or something.
Yeah, exactly. And then Minato just safely teleports back to the ground so he doesn't, fall and die.
Is that everything? I don't know. What else does there even say?
Yeah, so again, it's like, if we're being honest, yeah, Hashirama probably wins. He's definitely
Yeah.
presented as stronger, and like Madara and Hashirama seem like, you know, they're kind of presented as like this whole like other level. But I think that there are multiple arguments that you can use. I think the strongest ones are like, you know, teleportation hacks, obviously, combined with sealing jutsu hacks. Anyway, thanks for coming by. Thanks for being here, Seth and Six. And
Yeah.
until next time, see you later. Bye.
Money making season and being broke is treason.
So that was Minato versus Hashirama. They really didn't have anything attack wise for Minato. They kind of just debunked his anti feats, like talking about his stamina and stuff. They debunked that, and all the statements that people try to use, they debunked that. So they debunked a lot of stuff, and then they put into question Hashirama's durability, but they had nothing really attack wise for him besides the Super Smash Brothers outer field, outer space thing, which is very, very specific. And I don't think he would ever do that. But yeah, I don't think he don't really have too much against Hashirama, man. Like in terms of difficulty or in terms of his percentage to win, I would say like maybe like 2 out of 10, 20%. So 80% of the time, I think Hashirama will win. But hey, what do y'all think? Do y'all agree with this? Do y'all agree with the video? Do you think Hashirama will win? Or do you think Minato? What's your reasons why? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like on it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Trying to get to 1,000 subs. And I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm out.